Alright, breaking. The US Federal Reserve leaves interest rate unchanged. Jerome Powell announced that the Federal Reserve will maintain the pause on interest rate, keeping them steady at 5.25% to 5.550% following the latest FOMC decision. In his statement, Jerome Powell said, "We are looking for greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. We want to get greater confidence." A good example is inflation. Is 6 months of good inflation data sending us a true signal that we are on a sustainable path down to 2% inflation? That's the question. We have had strong growth, very strong growth last year, and yet we've had a very strong labor market, and we've had inflation coming down. You want to see strong growth, a strong labor market, and inflation counting to come down. Is there anything that makes you doubt that it is true signal at this stage? It seems to be the likely case that we will achieve that confidence, but we have to achieve it, and we haven't yet. We need to see more evidence that confirms what we think we are seeing, and that tells us confidence that we are on a sustainable path down to 2%. Source: Fox News. Federal Reserve, the US economy is great. Carry on. That's Jerome Powell. Now listen to the news in details, and then don't forget to like, comment, and share. And most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.
Say that we have confidence. We're looking for greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. Implicitly, we do have confidence and has been increasing, but we want to get greater confidence. What do we want to see? We want to see more good data. It's not that we're looking for better data. We're looking at continuation of the good data that we've been seeing. And a good example is inflation. So we have 6 months of good inflation data. The question really is, that 6 months of good inflation data, is it sending us a true signal that we are in fact on a path, sustainable path down to 2% inflation? That's the question. And the answer will come from some more data that's also good data. It's not that the 6 month data isn't low enough. It is. It's just a question of, can we take that with confidence that we're moving sustainably down to 2%? That's really what we're thinking about. In terms of growth, we've had strong growth. If you take a step back, we've had strong growth, very strong growth last year, going right into the fourth quarter. And yet we've had a very strong labor market, and we've had inflation coming down. So I think, whereas a year ago we were thinking that we needed to see some softening in economic activity, that hasn't been the case. So I think we look at stronger growth. We don't look at it as a problem. I think at this point we want to see strong growth. We want to see a strong labor market. We're not looking for a weaker labor market. We're looking for inflation to continue to come down as it has been coming down for the last 6 months.
And I'm sorry if I could just follow up very quickly. When you say that you want to make sure that it's a true signal, is there anything that you're seeing in the data that makes you doubt that it's a true signal at this stage?
No, I think I would say it seems to be the likely case that we will achieve that confidence, but we have to achieve it, and we haven't yet. And so, I mean, it's a good story. We have 6 months of good inflation, but you can, and you know this, you can look behind those numbers and you can see that a lot of it's been coming from goods inflation, for example, and goods inflation running significantly negative. It's a reasonable assumption that over time, goods inflation will flatten out, probably approximate zero. That would mean the services sectors would have to contribute more. So, in other words, what we care about is the aggregate number, not so much the composition, but we just need to see more. That's where we are as a committee. We need to see more evidence that sort of confirms what we think we're seeing, and that tells us that gives us confidence that we're on a path to a sustainable path down to 2% inflation. Let me say that we have confidence. We're looking for greater confidence that inflation is moving